Welcome to another episode. Today's question is, who can lead this world as of now? Do you have the courage to give a solid message to the people of the earth? Who can lead this world as of now? Do you have the courage to give a solid message to the people of the earth? Leader is someone among us. Is it not so? He's not different. He's not from somewhere else. One of us has to be the leader. So if we can understand, if we can lead, then the leader also will be able to lead. If you are corrupt, violent, the leader will also be corrupt and violent. If you are waiting for someone to lead you, to tell you what to do, then the leader will also be incapable and innecessary. So you have the answer. You are the answer. So it is one among us who is going to be leader. So he will be like we are. If we are incapable to decide, he will be incapable to decide. Incapable of deciding things. If we are corrupt, he will be corrupt. So next we will see from Krishnamurti's talks in India in 1948. Now what do you mean by following and what do you mean by a leader? Why do you follow? And why do you create a leader? If you are interested, please consider this closely. Why do you follow? You follow only when you are confused. When do we follow? We follow when we are confused, when we are unhappy, when we are torn down, when you feel torn down. You want someone, a political, religious, a military leader to help you, to take you out of your misery. When you are clear, when you understand, you do not want to be led. You want to be led only when you are yourself in confusion, with all its implications. So what happens when you are confused? How can you see clearly? Since you cannot see clearly, you will choose a leader who is also confused. So when we are confused, we don't see clearly. We choose a leader who is confused. This is happening in the world and it is disastrous. It may sound very clever, but it is not. How can a blind man choose a leader? He can only choose those around him. Similarly, a confused man can only choose a leader who is confused as himself. Now what happens? Being confused, your leader naturally leads you to further confusion, further disaster, further misery. That is what is taking place all over the world, for God's sake, sirs. Look at it, it is your misery. You are being led to the slaughter because you refuse to see the clear way, the cause of your own confusion. And because you refuse to see it, you are creating out of your confusion the clever, the cunning leaders who exploit you. Because a leader like you is seeking self-fulfillment. Therefore, you become necessity to the leader, and the leader becomes necessity to you. It is mutual exploitation. So why do you want a leader? And can there be ever right leadership? You and I help each other to clear up our own confusion. Which does not mean that I become your leader and you become my follower. Or I am your guru and you are my people. We simply help each other to understand the confusion that exists in our own hearts and minds. It is only when you do not want to understand the confusion that you run away from it, and then you will turn to somebody, to a leader or a guru. But if you want to understand it, then you must look to the common misery, the aches, the burdens, the loneliness, and you can only when you are not trying to find an answer, a way out of the confusion. You look at it because confusion itself leads to misery. Therefore, you want to understand it. And when you understand, clear it up, you will be free as the air. You will love. You will not follow. You will have no leaders. And then you will come to the society of true equality without class or caste. A leader in a society is a destructive element. The world is on the verge of catastrophe. It is rapidly disintegrating. And merely to find another leader, a new Churchill, a great Stalin, a different God is utterly futile, because the man who is confused can choose only according to the dictates of his own mind, which is confusion. Therefore, it is no good seeking a leader, right or wrong. There is no right leader. All leaders are wrong. What you have to do is clear your own confusion, and confusion is set aside only when you understand yourself. With the beginning of self-knowledge, there comes clarity. Without self-knowledge, there is no release from confusion. Without the self-knowledge, confusion is like a wave eternally catching you up. So it is very important for those who are really serious and in earnest to begin with themselves, not seek release or escape from confusion. The moment you understand confusion, you are free of it. So here what J. Krishnamurti is trying to tell is, we seek leaders when we are confused, when we are in pain. So what we have to do is see what is the problem, come out of our confusion. Instead of that, out of our confusion, we seek a leader who can guide us, a guru who can guide us. Then the guru is also same like us. He is born out of that confusion. He himself is a confused person. He cannot lead you. Whereas somebody, if he can clarify your doubts, your confusions, he need not be your leader. And it is better you yourself go understand the problem and resolve the problem and come out of your confusion. That is better. That is what J. Krishnamurti is trying to tell. Next we will see Tao, the Pathless Path series 1 of Osho. He has no need for disciple. The leader has need for the follower. That is the difference between a leader and a master. Master has no need for a disciple. But the leader requires a follower, a disciple. That is the difference between the leader and a master. A master is not a leader. A leader cannot exist without a follower. The leader needs the follower. In fact, the leader needs the follower more than the follower needs the leader. The leader goes on persuading the followers. I am very much needed, but he depends on the follower. A leader is the follower of the followers. He looks at the followers, what they want, and he will do that. The master is one whose needs have disappeared, who himself has disappeared. Where can needs cling? Needs need an ego to cling to. He has no need. Whether you are there or not makes no difference. Because the leaders have need, they have their own ambitions, they require followers to fulfill that. But a master does not have any need, so he don't require anyone. Whether you are there or not, it makes no difference. Sun rises in the morning and the flowers open, the birds sing. Any difference to the sun? It will go on rising. There are millions of stars. No flower opens. There are planets where no flower opens, but the sun goes on shining. The flower cannot open without the sun, that is certain, but the sun can go on rising without the flower opening. The master is just a light. If your flower opens in his presence, good. If nothing opens in his presence, that's okay, good. There's no difference between the two. If there is difference, then the master is a leader, not at a master. The flower opens in deep forest, nobody will ever pass. The fragrance will still continue to spread around. It does not wait for a traveler, does not wait for somebody to come and appreciate it. That is not the point at all. If somebody comes and appreciates it, good. If nobody comes and nobody appreciates it, it is good as other. There is no distinction, no difference. So here Osho differentiates between a master and a leader. Master is the one whose brilliance and radiance spread on its own like the sun spreads its rays. He does not want an acknowledgement from somebody, a follower. A leader, whereas wants acknowledgement from the follower. He is thriving because of the follower, and follower is thriving because of the leader. But for a master, it does not matter anything. He does not require somebody to acknowledge his brilliance, radiance, or peace. It radiates on its own, his wisdom. He does not need a follower to acknowledge it. So that is the difference between the master and leader. Leader requires somebody to acknowledge his efforts, to fulfill his own inadequacies, whereas master is complete. He is not dependent on anything. He has no needs. He is on his own. So we have understood the difference between the leader and the master from Osho, and J.Krishnamurti has clarified why a leader is not required. It is our confusion. We have to understand our confusion and come out of it. You don't require a leader because it is mutual exploitation between a leader or a guru and the follower or the disciple. It is a mutual exploitation. So we don't require leaders. Leader is one among us. If we are confused, the leader is confused. If we are corrupt, the leader is corrupt. So with this, we will end this episode. Stay with me for another episode. Subscribe to my channel. Share this video. Thank you.